You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
What's going
on? My name is Daniel.
I'm Clint.
It's January the 11th.
Correct.
2022.
Uh-huh.
And the University of Georgia Bulldogs are the national champions of college football.
Let that wash over you. Do me a huge favor. Just go back. Restart the podcast.
They don't have to do that. Let me say it again.
Okay.
It's January the 11th.
Yep.
2022, the year of our Lord.
Yeah.
And the University of Georgia Bulldog football team are the national champions.
I don't think we understand the magnitude. I certainly don't understand the magnitude of this. It's going to take processing. It's much like, Daniel, when a new child comes into the home. Something's got to change in the home, and you don't know what's going to change until you get there. And you just learn along the way as you're nursing this beautiful new thing into your life. That's what this national championship is. As we nurse this beautiful new thing into our lives, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves.
That's right.
We've learned a lot about the team.
I learned a lot about a lot of things last night.
The lessons will be coming over for months to come. T's and P's to the program of basketball at UGA. We won't be talking about you.
What?
The basketball program, Daniel?
I don't know. You'll have to remind me later, off camera, what we're talking about.
But don't worry, because here's what we're gonna do. If you're a fan of Georgia, welcome. This is now the party podcast for UGA National Championship
in perpetuity,
in just ongoing. Mm-hmm. It never ends.
Your one-stop shop for just reveling and gloating. And
we're not good at a lot of things.
No,
but rubbing it into other fan bases and reveling with our fan base about a national championship seems like something we're going to be able to do very well.
I think we'll be able to. I think we'll find our way.
We'll find some content here.
We'll find our way.
So today's podcast is going to be pretty simple. It's for fans, by fans. By the way, this episode is brought to you by Sonos. Sonos, thanks for making the national championship call so perfectly clear in my ears.
Better? Yeah.
It sounded beautiful in my ears. We're going to be talking about this game. We're breaking down the national championship. We'll be talking for many, many episodes to come, pulling receipts of all you fan bases. I still remind myself or remember, I can't think, Daniel.
I can't speak. So between the two of us, we're perfect for this podcast. This is ideal.
Late kick, Josh. Look, I remember beginning season when you told me Clemson was going to absolutely handle us, throttle us. We're not in the same league, and here we are. And you had to cover us winning, so I'm very happy to hear that. We're gonna have receipts. We're gonna be talking about the game. We're going to be talking about what this national championship means for Kirby and the future of UGA, which, by the way, is bright as all get out. It's incredible. I'm going to start you with this stat today as we break down and process the game. Daniel.
Let's do it.
First time since 1995. Some of y'all at the game cheering for Georgia weren't alive even then. Many of you don't even know 1980. But 1995, you're like, what is that? First time since then, Nick Saban has led at halftime and then lost by double digits since Michigan State in 95.
Well, let me tell you, as a lifelong Georgia fan,
yes,
I can confirm it has been made abundantly clear to me by so many people who are fans of so many programs.
Yes,
that when you lead at halftime and lose the game, you are trash. You are absolutely a joke of a program. You don't belong in the conversation with the big boys. You choked. You can't win the big one. That's what I've been told. Now, I would never say that about Nick Saban. He's the greatest college football coach of all time. I'm just saying that's what I've been told.
Oh, how the turntables have.
About teams that lead at halftime and then can't finish the deal. You hate to see it. On the other hand,
okay,
how happy are you for Kirby Smart? Because, listen, after the game, it's pan delirium. It's just pets' heads are falling off.
Oh.
And we're just
Abject insanity in the stadium.
All I wanted to do, other than hug my son who was standing next to me, all I wanted to do was get eyes on Kirby Smart down on the field. Just find him, because Georgia fan, I know this, you know this, as much as you wanted this game, as much as you wanted to win this game, as much as this game mattered to you, as much as you've been here for 40 years, nobody wanted this win more than Kirby Smart. Nobody wanted to beat Alabama more than Kirby Smart. Nobody wanted the national championship for Georgia more than Kirby Smart. There was some property destroyed in Indianapolis last night, and
we can personally attest to that.
And I'll tell you this, I wouldn't be surprised if Kirby Smart was part of it, because this man is Georgia through and through. And I'll just maybe end the first segment on this. Again, it's January the 11th, 2022.
Say more.
And you tell me I'm wrong listening to the podcast. Every college football program in America would trade their coach for our coach
right now. All of you who would say no are lying.
Just think for a second.
Use your head.
Nick Saban's 70 years old, okay? And he's the only guy that you would even consider. Jimbo?
Nope.
Texas A&M fan?
Nope.
You're telling me you'd rather have Jimbo than Kirby? Every program in America would trade their coach for our coach. And some of y'all, Justin be tweeting, we're disparaging him in the middle of the game.
Justin, I want to come to your defense, but I can't. I can't. I want to. This is what friends do. Friends love each other, even with hard things that we have to say. Don't come after my coach.
Kirby Smart has a national championship.
Just put that ring
Kirby
on.
Smart is about to go into a recruit's home.
No, Daniel, no, just
wearing a ring.
He has number one classes already under his belt, and now you gave him rings? Oh, you're done. You're screwed.
It's not great. Every program in America would trade their coach for ours.
Hey, we're going to come back after this, but I first want to let you know about Get Upside. Get Upside is a fantastic app that many listeners are using right now. It gives you 25 cents per gallon off or back into your wallet every time you use the app. Get Upside. Get Upside app is in the Android store and the iOS store. We have people that are saving $200, $300 filling up. And right now, use promo code SCORE when you get the app, and you get an extra 25 cents on the first time you fill up. So that is 50 cents total. Again, not good at math. I think 33 is better than 18.
Okay, now this is numbers. I was told there would be no numbers.
No numbers, but I think 33 is higher than 18. I think if you have more than that in a game of competition called football, you win that game.
Also, 50 cents seems like more than 25 cents.
That's exactly right. That's okay. 25 is better than 50 is better than 25. Get Upside is the app right now. If you use it, you can get paid back straight into the bank account, straight into PayPal, e-gift cards, Amazon, and the like. Head over, download the app, Get Upside, fill up with your promo code SCORE for 50 cents off per gallon the first time that you fill up. Get Upside, best app that many listeners are using for gas. And we're all using gas to get back to Athens and wherever we're coming from for all corners of the world, as we just saw. Get Upside.
All right, Clint. So it's January 11th, and Georgia won the national championship last night.
There it is.
This is all still recovering from said national championship. Where do we really go to talk about this game? I ask that rhetorically because
let me answer my own question.
Are you new to the podcast? Is this your first time? Because that's not. Look, the podcast was just going to be me sipping coffee the entire.
And then we got on and he started talking Georgia, and all of a sudden his voice came back to him, which is
Had a little bit of a third wind.
Yes, sir.
It's Stetson Bennett is what we're going to talk about next. Okay,
Please,
because you want to talk about receipts. You want to talk about people who may have been wrong. And listen,
what? Both hands raised over here.
Present.
On the audio.
Present. We're all present. If you could see the other people staying in our Airbnb, their hands would be raised as well.
Intern, executive producer M Dubs, hand raised right now. Can confirm.
Up in the air. All right. Stetson Bennett is a legend.
Legend. He goes out. By the way, if you see Stetson Bennett from here on out, you are contractually obligated to buy that man whatever drink he is having at the restaurant that you are sharing with him. And he allowed you to come into that restaurant. Just remember that.
We don't make the rules. These are just the rules. You understand? We don't make them. They are. He's not a great quarterback.
Nope.
He's not a superstar.
Nope.
He's a legend.
Yes.
At the University of Georgia. The story of Stetson Bennett is it's not about a former walk-on.
No, sir.
Leading his team to the national championship.
Which, by the way, he was.
He was a former walk-on.
Okay.
It's not about an underdog. It's about a kid whose own fan base didn't want him so much so that at every turn, at every opportunity, they did everything they could to let everyone know that the other guy standing over there on the sidelines was the guy that they wanted. So much so that he was the personification of Kirby Smart's inability to pick the right quarterback. Stetson Bennett's story is a kid who just didn't care what you thought about him.
That's right.
Period. He didn't care what we thought about him. He didn't care what you thought about him. He didn't care what anybody thought about him. He just went out
and balled
and played football.
That fourth quarter, that completion to AD, that completion to Brock, that completion on the sideline to get the drive going. Was that Ladd that he got that first pass to? Who was that? Or was that Burton?
Burton. And then Kenny Mack.
All of that was a man who doesn't hear any noise, doesn't care about it, deliberately and actively worked against hearing from us. And here's what's most exciting to me about the Stetson Bennett story. And because fans, when you come out of a house that has some certain weird things that you learned in your youth and you continue it on, I understand why you do it. So our fandom, we continued some weird habits that now get to change. And here's what gets to change. You don't have to question any personnel decisions at the University of Georgia ever again, as long as Kirby Smart is head coach.
You're allowed to say, "Oh, I disagree with that decision."
Please,
but
that's a fan.
But you don't have to call for people's jobs.
Yep.
Assuming that you know who can. Clint, he was 4 for 4.
Yes.
In the fourth quarter.
84, 89 yards.
80-something yards.
Yep.
In the fourth quarter when the game was on the line.
Now, we were ahead by that point, so he just had to basically get a couple first downs.
Now, 9 minutes to go in the game.
Oh.
We're down by 5.
Oh, interesting.
And we're 75 yards away from the end zone.
75.
And we're down by 5.
And after the most, we got to keep that clean rating. I almost lost it right there.
Okay. It was not a fumble.
It was not a fumble.
It was not a fumble. It was a pass. Stetson Bennett did not turn the ball over. Do you realize that means Stetson Bennett did not turn the ball over?
Not once.
Not once.
Bryce Young did a couple times.
Now, hold on.
Bryce Young did twice. Stetson not once.
Hold on, because I was told by Alabama. I said on this podcast a week ago that if you get pressure on Bryce Young, what does he do?
He turns the ball over.
He throws it up there, and you catch it.
And Christopher Smith said thank you. Kelee Ringo said thank you. The defensive line was eating. The outside backers were coming.
And I was told, you're an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce Young's turned the ball over 4 times this year. He's thrown 4 interceptions this year. Well, he threw 2 interceptions
in one game
yesterday.
Just
so
last
that's night. Again, it's too much math for me this early in the morning. But that seems like a big jump in totals. So Stetson Bennett didn't turn the ball over.
No.
But not only did he not turn the ball over, you cannot say enough that down by 5 with 8 minutes to go in this game.
Coming off a play in which every single person
gut wrenching
could come back and say, well, even if it was horse crap, he still should have thrown it. He still should have gotten out. He still should have. He was about to go down the abject whipping boy of Georgia's downer, lost national championship drive and chance. And then he came out and he did this.
We didn't run the ball one time.
Not once.
Todd Monken said, you know what, Stet? Let's pitch it around a little bit.
Let's ride.
And it was Jermaine Burton and it was Kenny Mack and it was a pass interference call with a free rusher, Will Anderson, the best defensive player in college football, I've been told, hitting him right in the face, and he throws that ball down. And Kool-Aid has no idea what's happening.
Kool-Aid knows right away. He goes, "Oh, I'm about to get Stetsoned right here. I'll just tackle again."
Listen, Jorge Pickens was the brick wall, and Kool-Aid was trying to burst through it like that Kool-Aid man.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't make it happen.
Oh no!
No, so like a 1980s Kool-Aid commercial reference on the podcast. But
1980. That's weird.
Stetson Bennett. We need to start making more 2022 references.
I think so.
Because that's the new year.
That's the year of the Lord.
Stetson Bennett is a legend at the University of Georgia. And we as a fan base are forever grateful for the national championship that he delivered.
He delivered. And put it in your pipe and smoke it, because you don't get to rewrite this narrative. Anybody. I'm talking to national media. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to us right now. I'm preaching my own heart right now.
Uh-huh.
Kirby Smart won with Stetson Bennett, and if he's so bad, Kirby Smart is the greatest football coach of all time.
And if he's so good, Kirby Smart made the right QB decision when you thought he didn't.
And you can't have it any other way.
So you choose.
Those are your options, and I allow you to go forth with that.
That's right.
We're going to come back after this, and we got a lot more. This doesn't end here. But first, I want to let you know about BetOnline. BetOnline is where Daniel and I went to make preseason wagers at plus 750 for Georgia to win the national championship.
Oh, no.
That just cashed. It's where I went back to the window at 650 midseason, and I doubled down again on betonline.ag and cashed.
Yep.
And then where Georgia was over win total 10.5 on betonline.ag.
Okay.
And we cashed.
No, we cashed that one.
And it's where the under for this game.
Yeah.
We cashed.
52.5. Yeah.
And it's where the 2.5 that we got.
Hold on. Did we cover 2.5?
We covered 2.5.
Okay.
BetOnline.ag is your sportsbook experts. They have everything you need to bet on sports, and you can get preseason championship totals right now, Daniel.
Oh no! Just get after it.
Just get after it. BetOnline.ag, your sportsbook experts. Right now, use promo code LOCKEDON, and you're going to get a bonus when you sign up. They're going to match you up to $100 on your bonus whenever you do your initial deposit, up to $100. That's BetOnline.ag, your sportsbook experts.
All right, Clint. I commandeered the second segment.
You did.
We talked about Stetson Bennett, and so I see the floor. Where do you want to go in this final segment of the day?
I want to hit a little rapid fire of, again, I think we're gonna talk many weeks about all the plays.
Sure, we don't need
the players. We're not going to hit everything. So I want to hit broad strokes right now as we celebrate. Okay,
that seems fitting for this Tuesday.
Seems fitting. All right. I already told you one, Georgia fan, you have changed the narrative. You can disagree, but you don't have to be the savior of the program. The program doesn't need you to try to get direct line contact to coach to tell him how he's screwed up. No. You're now in the back seat.
We're fine. And you know what? The backseat's a fun place to be. You get the
Hey, Kirby, drive me wherever you want.
you just look out the window at the scenery. You back there doing a Mad Libs, maybe. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what you do on vacation, but enjoy the road trip, y'all.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's point one. Point two. Kirby Smart and the Georgia program decided that we're going to zig when everybody's zagging, and we're going to make a monster on defense.
Here we go.
That cannot be beaten. Y'all, when we needed them the most, when they were doing their thing, when we were not changing up, when our defense got after it, when we were blitzing and we had pressure and we had better players and we had it all, we won with defense. Stetson Bennett is legendary. He performed when he needed to. But again, let me tell you, Nolan Smith, all night long. Trayvon Walker, by the way, Trayvon Walker, buy stock right now. I don't know how you can. Yes. Buy stock right now because that thing going to skyrocket. Aaron Donald called and he said, why'd you guys improve on me?
What is that?
What's that?
What is that guy?
He's a freak. Kelee Ringo has progressed into a lockdown corner, and we saw him from beginning of the season till now. Mm-hmm. He's got his hips turned around. He is in run support. He is coming off block. Kelee Ringo is a problem now. Brock Bowers is a problem. I had to get that in there because I was talking about Kelee Ringo. I know I'm talking about the defense, but I had to get that in there. Look, y'all, this defense was built by Dan Lanning and Kirby Smart. It's a monster. Yeah. It will continue to be a monster because we got players coming in. Nakobe Dean, Channing Tindall were flying all over the place last night, calling out plays on that little stupid screen that Bama tried to do with that only offense they could do. Was those stupid slip screens out on the flats.
Quay Walker just hitting people. When they dumped that ball off 4 yards over the middle, Quay Walker was there each and every time.
Should we
each and every time?
Do we have to come up with a award?
What, I'm
getting text message
from upstairs.
Yeah.
Golly geez, you can't. Look, we're trying to do our job here. You understand?
Mimdove says turn your phone on silent. Quay Walker was there. The defensive line, Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis, he tackled Brian Robinson at one point in the fourth quarter for a 2-yard loss, and it was maybe one of the most beautiful plays I've ever seen. Devontae Wyatt, Clint.
Devontae Wyatt.
One of my favorites of all time.
Okay,
one of my
really
favorite
quick.
dogs of all time.
We're going to toot our horn a little bit the next couple of weeks, and I'm not going to make any apologize. I apologize to absolutely nobody.
No, we will not.
These guys came on the pod before the season, and we said, you want to hear somebody that's going to be a defensive MVP that no one's talking about. Devontae Wyatt's a monster and going to make himself money. I think the draft pick gap between Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt has shrunk considerably.
Considerably.
I think those two are going to go within maybe 20 picks of each other. It's fantastic. That defense is something else. That's what I want to touch on really quick. Another broad stroke.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. That's fine. Go ahead.
No.
Go
Plant
ahead.
the seed now. Plant the seed now.
Just all those field goals Alabama kicked. All those field goals Alabama kicked.
My son with me at the game looks at me and says, Dad, is there anybody better at red zone defense than us? And I said, son, no.
You said make your own
conclusions. How many times has somebody scored? How many times was Alabama 85 plays they ran against us?
Yeah.
Daniel? 85 in the game.
Boy, that defense must have gotten tired at the end. They must have looked real tired at the end.
Real raggedy.
Because, the problem with Jordan Davis is he can't sustain.
Conditioning.
He can't sustain, Clint. No, he can't.
Guys.
We'll talk more about that red zone defense tomorrow.
We will. We will exhaust all of that. And here's the last thing I want to talk about, broad stroke thing. Again, we have changed fandom. Everything, we are in a new reality from here on out.
That's right.
Because halftime, Kirby Smart went in, looked at his offensive line, came into Luke's kitchen, came in to Monk's kitchen and said, hey, I've let you guys had some reins, but I'm telling you right now, we're getting eaten alive on the interior.
Yep.
Jamari, we're going to ask you to slide back on into guard.
Yep.
Broderick, go ahead and lock down the tackle position.
Yep.
And let's grade.
Yep.
And they came out and they graded at halftime. Kirby Smart made that decision, told them what's going on.
They didn't just grade, they protected. Not perfectly.
No.
It was still Alabama.
It's one of the best defenses in all the entire, one of the most skilled position groups in the entire nation.
But listen, the difference in pass pro in the first half and the second half is unbelievable. So yeah, those offensive line adjustments and the way that offensive line performed, which was absolutely the weakness of the team the entire game.
Hands down.
The entire game, especially in the first half.
From drive one, from play one.
But the way that they picked it up when it mattered the most is absolutely to be commended. And it has a lot to do with the fact that we won that national championship.
Really does. Again, hang with us. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the audio. We will be here every single day. We got receipts of Bama fans in our YouTube comments that for days. By the way, I sat next to Alabama fans at this game, and let me tell you, Alabama fan does not know football. They literally have watched Nick Saban just win, and they're in here, and they're saying the stupidest things I've ever heard. They are brain dead fans. To prove the point, we're going to keep receipts of the YouTube comments. And
look,
so
y'all better get in there and delete those comments.
Don't you dare.
Y'all better get in there. I'm just telling you right now. Y'all better go back and do the work and delete them comments.
I'm coming.
Some of y'all already have. I've already noticed.
We've seen.
We see it.
I'm going to print them off, and we're going to do 1 a day, 2 a day until next season because it's glorious. We're going to come back every single day here on Locked On Podcast Network, Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day, and we'll be talking about this national championship win for several months.
Georgia won the national championship.